Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's lesson, and I hope you are well. Hi Bushe, I can see Bushe is here. Hi Bushe, how are you Bushe? Right, so Bushe, can we please wait for maybe like 5 seconds? Maybe someone will join in as well. 5 seconds. Let's give them 5 seconds to join. Okay, so it seems like there's only Boucher. Hi, Boucher. Okay, guys, in today's lesson, we are going to focus on conditional formatting. Remember, yesterday we were doing conditional formatting. I've showed you how to use conditional formatting. All right, so I hope you now know what to do when you want to insert conditional formatting. All right, so Bushe, let's see who else is here. Right, hi guys. So as we were to, oh, I apologize. Right, so yesterday we were busy with conditional formatting, but with conditional formatting, we have seen how to insert conditional formatting, but we only used the new rule option and also the menu that is provided for us on conditional formatting. Right, so the first step, we said the first step is to go to your home tab. For conditional formatting, you go to your home tab. In your home tab, styles. Styles is the group. Look for the group styles. Styles, yes, styles. Let's see if I'm able to share the file with you. Okay. Okay. Right, so since I can't share the file with you now, guys, I'm so sorry, but I promise next time when we practice how to do something maybe on spreadsheet or on a Word document, I'll share the file with you so that you can practice, do what I am doing. We can practice together. All right, so today, remember yesterday we had conditional formatting. Okay, so on conditional formatting, remember yesterday we practiced how to insert conditional formatting, but only use this option. I hope you can remember. Highlight cells rules. Highlight cells rules, remember we practiced how to use this one. Only text that contains, because yesterday we were dealing with text, right? So only text that contains, like here on this cell, if I want to see how many, or if I want to highlight the ladies, I want to highlight all cells that contains miss, all cells that contains miss, that contains certain text. So text that contains. So if you want to highlight Mr., but now I want to highlight Miss. So for us to highlight Miss, choose the color. Oops. Highlight. So yesterday we were practicing, we were using this option, only this option. And on this option, we saw the menu, text that contains. Let me highlight every text from this column that contains miss to red, with light red fill. Right, so now we know how to highlight cells that contains a text. But now I want us to look at the other options. The other options are, now, how about we display all values greater than 1000 with dark red, with cells shaded red. Okay, so display all values greater than 1000 with dark red, and also with cells that are shaded light red. Okay, now this is not text. Ne? Now these are values. We are dealing with values today, but not text. So now display all values greater than 1000 with dark red and cells shaded light red. So every cell that is greater than 1000, like this one, it must be dark red. The cells must be shaded light red. How do we do that? To highlight, the first step is to highlight the cells. Then go to conditional formatting. Conditional formatting. Now we want to highlight the values, the cells that contains values that are greater than 1000, right? That are greater. We are highlighting. Remember, if you want to insert bars, you would come to this option. If you want the color scales, use this one. The icon sets, this one. But if you want to highlight, if the question says, the instruction says highlight, then you will come to highlight cells rules. Highlight cells that are greater, because now we are looking for something that is greater than 1000. So every cell that contains values that are greater than 1000, they must be highlighted. They must be dark red in color and also highlighted with light red, right? So the field must be light red. The font must be dark red. So greater, because we are looking for something that is greater than 1000. We want to highlight those cells. Greater, select greater. Then you select the amount, because we want to highlight every cell that contains an amount of 1000 and greater. Okay, so greater than 1000. Let's say maybe yes, you can say 1000 or you can say 1100, or but then this one is also greater than 1000. So you can say, just say 1000. Greater than 1000, say 1000, starting from 1000. But okay, you can say 1000 or change maybe this one to 01, so that when there's something that contains 1000, that contains a value of 1,000. Let that cell not to be highlighted because we want something that is greater than 1,000. Right, so greater than 1,000 must be light red. The field must be light red with dark red text. So dark red text and light red fill. Okay. Oh. Okay, let me do it again. Conditional formatting. Highlight rules that are greater than 1,000. Greater than 1,000, let's say 1,000. 1,000. Problem is my value. Is with my value. Okay, let me just say 1,000, 1,000, and click OK. Right, so can you see? Now, if you go back to your range, everything that is above 1,000 is highlighted with red. And you see, everything that is above 1,000 is now highlighted with red. Right, so now let's explore the second one. Now, on our second sheet, we want to display all values greater than 2,500 with, they must be bold with cells shaded light blue. So the cells must be shaded light blue, sorry. The cells must be bold, sorry. The values must be greater, or all values that are greater than 2.5, they must be bold with cells shaded light blue. Right, so now we want every cell that is greater than 2,500 rands. We want it to be bold with cells that are shaded light blue. You highlight, the first step is to highlight, to select where you want the conditional formatting to be. Then you go to highlight because we want to just highlight, but not to insert bottom or top rules or insert data parts, but we want to highlight. Okay. To highlight these ones, select where you want to put your conditional formatting. Okay, so after, highlight cells rules, but we want only cells that has values greater than 2,500. So we want greater, something that is greater but not less than, between equals greater. Greater than 2,500 rands. 2,500 rands. Now, they must be bold with cells shaded light blue. Can I get light blue from this list? No, but there's an option that says custom format. Let's see, what do I get? Yes, it gives me an option, or it gives me a menu where I can select what I want to select. So I'm looking for light blue. So every cell that is above or every cell that is greater, that contains values greater than 2,500, they must be bold. What must be bold? Is it the text, the font maybe? If it's the font, then I come to font, but I'm not given. Okay, font, right. I can change the font to bold, then light blue. The shade, which is the field must be light blue. Then, okay, let's see if it works. Will it work? So now, is that light blue? Okay, so now every cell that contains a value that is greater than 2,500 Rand is now bold and it is shaded with light blue. Can you see how easy it is to do conditional formatting? Now, okay. Right, so remember yesterday I told you about conditional formatting, that when you are using conditional formatting or when you are doing conditional formatting, you can manage your rules. Remember, this was my rule. I wanted all values greater than 2,500 to be bold and with cells that are shaded in light blue, sorry. So now, maybe like my color, I'm not happy with my color. I want to change the color. Right, you can manage, delete, or yes, you can manage your rules on, yes, on conditional formatting. So when you are doing conditional formatting, you have an option of managing your rules. You want to edit this rule that you have created here? Yes, you can. Just go to your go to conditional formatting. If you want to edit that rule, can go to conditional form, select conditional formatting, then if you want to clear, you want to delete and start over, you can click on clear rules. But if you want to edit, you need to click on manage rules. Can you see here is our rule? So the rule says cell value that is greater than 2,500 Rand must be shaded in light blue or in this color. Applies to D2 to D25, cell D2 to D25. If you want to maybe change the cell range, you can come, click on this. It will give you an option of changing, but if you want to change the color, click on the rule so that it be highlighted. So click on the rule and say edit rule. If you want to delete, you can delete, edit, add a new rule, but for now I want to edit. Change the color. Here is my color. Here's my color. If I want to change the color, I can change the color. I can come to this and then choose the color. If I want to change the font from bold to something else, I can change. But now I just want to change the color only. Then click OK. Say OK. Can you see? You can manage your rules. Perfect. Right, so now let's go to our third instruction. Now, shade all cells with values less than or equals to 150. So every cell that has a value of 150, every cell that has a value of 150 and down, yes, from 150 going down, every cell that contains that amount, it must be pink. You must change the shade. The shade must be light pink. All right, so let's see how many cells do we have that contains an amount that is less than, that is equals or less than 150. Let's see, here's 0, 0. This is 100 rands. 0, 300. No, this one is okay. So 100 rand and zeros and 2 zeros. Let's see. Now we want to shade all the cells that has values that are less than or equals to 150. Highlight and go to conditional formatting. Remember, you want to shade. It means you want to highlight cells, but cells that are not greater, but cells that are equals or less than. All right, let me check if I can create my own rule. All right. Okay. All right, so now remember the question says, the instruction says, shade all cells with values less than or equals to 150. If I am not happy or I'm not, I don't understand what I have been provided with here, I don't know which one to choose from here. I can go the other way, which is new rule. I can set my new rule. New rule, remember, shade all cells with values less than or equals to 150. So format only cells that contains, because we want only cells that contains a certain value. We want cells that contains a value of 150 and less. Now, format cells that contain, change the cell value. Okay, cell value, you don't have to change the cell value. If it's text, you change to text, dates occurring. It's up to you. Cell value. Now we don't want to change every cell that is between 150 and a certain number, but we want to highlight cells that has an amount of 150 and less than or equals to 150. So that means 150 going down. Now I have these options, not between 150, not equals to 150, but less than or equal to. So less than 150 or equals to 150. Now, can say 150. 150. The cells must be light pink. the shade of the cell must be light pink. So nothing was said about the font, but shade. So we are dealing with the shade. We want to change the shade. So the fill must be light pink. Okay. So now every cell value that is less than or equals to 150, it must be pink. It must be shaded with the color pink. So every time, guys, when you're doing conditional formatting, you can always, or sometimes if you don't understand the question, just go to new rules. Don't select those options, especially when you're highlighting. You want to highlight cells. Don't use those options. Just go to new rule so that you can be able to make your own rule. I think it's easier that way. When you are confused, you don't know what to do, just come to new rule. Nay, new rule, then read the question. The question says all cells with, it means all cells that contains. Now you select contain, you come to this, the second step, the cell value. Cells that contains cells with this value, a value that is less than or equals to 150. So when you are reading this, when you are starting from the first step reading, it must make sense. It must match your question. Like my question, shade all cells with, only cells that contains with is similar to contains with. Cell value, all values that contains less than or equals to 150. Here's my 150 to a color light pink. Here is my color. And second, okay, let's see. Can you see? So 150, 100 rand, and 0 rands. So every cell that contains a value of 150 and down is highlighted with pink. Now our last one. Our last one is experiment with top or bottom rules, data bars, color scales, etc. Right now, we must experiment with top or bottom rules, data bars, color scales, etc. Now, let's look at the top or bottom rules. Top or bottom rules. Say now, maybe the question says, highlight every cell or every cell that contains an item, or maybe the top 10 in this amount. Say maybe you are dealing with, or you are formatting, you are using conditional formatting on maybe let me open something like marks, calculation of marks. Okay. Let me open a different spreadsheet so that we can see how this works. Taking too long. Okay. All right. This is a mark sheet for life orientation grade 11B. Say now we want to highlight the top 10 of the grade 11 LO life orientation test. So the first test was like this one. The first test was out of 80. Now we want to highlight the top 10. We want to find the top 10 of this classroom. The top 10. The top 10. Remember, now we want to look at the top, bottom rules, the data bars, and the color scales. We are done with the highlighting of cells. I guess now everyone has an idea of how to highlight cells, cells that are greater than or cells that are less than. If it's something that you are not looking for, you know what to do, the new rule. Okay, so we are done with that. Now we want to explore, we want to experiment. What about this one? The top or bottom rules. What can I do with this one? Okay, so top, say I want to find the top 10. The top 10, I want it to be highlighted with green, top 10. So this is the top 10 of grade 11B. So these are the learners, the top 10 for this test. So this one, 62% out of 80, 64. So the top 10 is highlighted with the color green. Okay, now I want to find, using the top or bottom rule, I want to find the bottom 10 items. So I want to find the bottom 10 learners. The bottom 10, bottom 10, but a color that is different from this. So I'm gonna go to customize and select a color. I want them to be in the color yellow. So learners, the bottom 10 of this class, the bottom 10, here is my bottom 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's how you use the top or bottom rules. There's more. We want to find the top 10% or the bottom 10%, the above average, the below average. You can use this one. Now let's see the data bars. The data bar one was out of 100. So the data bars, I want to use the data bars in this one. With the data bars, you just choose the color. If the instruction says pink, then you'll choose pink. Right, it's up to you. Okay, so this one, is this a total mark? All right, so let me use the data bars on this column. Sorry, data bars, conditional formatting. So I want to use the data bars. Okay, we use this one. Right, so this one will show you. Can you see 10 out of 50? Can you see the data bars? 38, this is 45. 45, can you see? If I change this amount, this 19 to 50, the data bar should be full. 50, let's see if I say 50. Yes, can you see? It's 50. So the data bar shows the amount the person got. So 10% out of 50. The white space is the remaining, which is 40. So this person got 10 out of 50. This one also got 10 out of 50. So the data bars show how much the person got with by also including the total. Right, so out of 38, this person got, can you see if the amount is 45, the data bar is longer, it's much longer than this one. They're not the same. For 10, can you see? For 10, for 13, 36, 45 is greater than 36, obviously. 42. Say now you are the teacher, you want to use data bars so that you can look at, you want to find, or you want to look at these marks and see how much your students got and how many that needs to improve and how many did very well. So I can see that 45. So the data bars are helping me to see. I don't have to look at the numbers by the data bars, sorry, by the data bars, the data bars, I can see the amount the student got. I can tell with the data bars that this student got total. This one got 45 out of 50. This one got 43 and this one got 11. I can see by looking at the data bars. So if they ask you to use the data bars, then you know what to do. The first option is for highlighting cells. This one, top, bottom rules. Remember, we used that on this cell, top 10. If you want to find the top 10, know what to do. The top 10%, the top 10%, the bottom 10 items. Yes, guys, that's it. And then with the color scales, let's see the color scales. The color scales. Okay. With the color scales, let's practice using the color scales on this one, the task 2 column. The task that is out of 50, how do the color scales look like? Right, so this, with the color scales, can you see here, this is 10. So everything that is between 0 to 10, everything 0 to 10 is green, 0 to 10 is green, then 11 to 20 or 11, let me see, 11, where's 20, say 20, I want to see something, if I say 20, okay, so 11 to 20, it's this color, then from 21 to 30, this is the color. Can you see 27 and 22, 27, 22, 26, the same color. Then 30s are the same color. Can you see 30? Here's another 36, 36 and 38. Then 40, the 40s also share the same color. So this can help you look at, or maybe you are working on something, you want to use the color scales. The color scales can help you calculate or maybe do something on a spreadsheet too easily. You can work on a data, you can interpret, you can do whatever that you want to do so much easy. Right, so that's it, guys, for today. So in today's lesson, we looked at one greater, we highlighted cells that are greater than 1,000. So if in future you want to highlight cells, or maybe you are given a spreadsheet that is the same as this one, and the instruction says highlight cells that contains a value of 1,000 and up, you know what to do. So we have we saw how to use this, how to highlight cells that contains 100, and the values display all values greater than 2,500 rand. So we were able to do that by using conditional formatting. We highlighted every cell that contains a value of 2,500 rand, no, a value that is greater than 2,500 rand. Right, so to number 3, we shaded all cells with value less than or equal. So we now know how to use this one to select a rule that will only highlight cells with values less than or equals to 150. So we did this, we highlighted, selected the cells, and then we went to conditional formatting. The easiest way when you are dealing with an instruction like this is to go to your rule. Then in your rules, say contains, because you are looking for a cell that contains an amount of, but not between, an amount that is less than or equals to 150. Then this is where you put your 150. But when you are looking for something that is between maybe two numbers, conditional formatting will give you this option. You will, maybe if you are looking for something that is between 100 rand, you want to highlight every cell that contains values between 100 rands, you say 100 rands and 150, then choose the color, and then every cell that has a value of 100 rand and up to 150, that cell will be highlighted and will be changed to a color that you have selected. Yes, guys, so that's it for today, and I hope you now know how to use or how to perform something like this, which is called conditional formatting, how to format your cells using conditional formatting. Right, any question? Anything that you want to say? I left with 2 minutes. Anything? Anything? Something maybe that you didn't understand? Anything? Anything? Guys, that's it for today. And I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Yes, and that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. All right, tomorrow